Hello there everybody, Sam'sTrains here, welcome back to the railway, and today I'm going to be responding to some critical comments. I am joined today by other half Chloe Train, who is actually responsible for today's mean comments. She hasn't been writing them, but she's been collating them without letting me see, so that I don't have any clue what's coming, which is actually quite scary. There are several different types of critical comments that we have found. The first kind is the constructive criticism, and for me this is the one that I like, because obviously I'm a human being, I'm not perfect, sometimes I might get things wrong, sometimes you might not agree with the things I've said, sometimes I might have a bad take on something, and if all the comments I had were just talking about how great and perfect I am, nice as that would be, it wouldn't help me to improve, I wouldn't ever get better, I would probably just have a very big head at the end of it. To the 99% of you who do leave constructive comments, thank you so much. They go such a long way to help me out to improve and grow. The second type of critical comment is the repetitive one. Now these can still be constructive, but they are the types of comments that I've read every day for the last 10 years or so, and I've answered them 1,000,001 times. And hopefully this video will be a good opportunity to answer those on camera, give you my reasonings, that would be nice. And then the third type of critical comment is the nasty type. It's not constructive, it's just mean-spirited. And the thing is though, we've noticed that a lot of these sorts of comments don't come through on YouTube. they tend to crop up on sort of like Facebook pages, on the forums, on the internet and that kind of thing. I just feel like if people wanted to help and if they've actually got something constructive to say, you would come to my channel, say it to me, let me respond to it and let me improve upon it. I think when they sort of try and do it behind your back, they're not trying to be constructive, they're trying to be destructive, maybe. 99% of you are fantastic people, and if you do leave me criticism, it's constructive and it's useful and it does help me to grow. It's just that 1% that seems to love to hate, and I don't entirely understand it. Because to be clear, there are channels that I don't necessarily think a lot of, but my response to that is to just not watch them, much less go on the internet and talk nasty things about them, try and drag them down or something. And there are channels that try and drag this channel down. I get mentioned every week on one particular channel, which is odd. Like, is it a jealousy thing? Are they just obsessed? I don't know. And instead of letting it get to me, I'm going to make a video about it, maybe even profit a little bit from it, because I think that's probably the last thing they would want. So with that, as I say, I have no idea what's coming. You've been collecting them for a long time, haven't you?
Past few months.
So there's a good few months of hate comments here. But yeah, it should be a good opportunity to answer some common questions and criticisms and such, and we'll see how it goes. So the stage is yours. Hit me with your best shot.
Okay, so the first one is from a forum.
Okay.
And from what I could gather, I think there's a bit of debate about magazines in YouTubers. And this person is clearly preferring magazines.
Pro magazine, okay.
So it says,
I know the type.
So it says, but there are far better video reviews by the magazines than anything Sam'sTrains is doing. A rival magazine, but far better watching the running on this video than somebody running a model on his mum's carpet.
Damn. So there's quite a few layers to this one, I think. First of all, people may well prefer videos from the magazines, and I think that's absolutely fine. I think that's just natural, and people have their preferences. Second of all, yes, that is true. Some people have noticed that I run trains on the carpet, and they are right. I'm not going to deny it. And a lot of people do prefer to watch videos of models running on proper layouts, and that is absolutely fine as well. I wouldn't say it's my mum's carpet. I don't know that my mother has ever been mentioned before, and I suppose it's quite amusing that whoever posted this comment decided that my mother was worth mentioning in their comments. Not quite sure what it brings to the table. Okay, we can move on.
On to the next. So, this person is talking about the age-old debate of what do YouTubers bring to the model railway community. And their opinion is that some people they've seen are pretty dire, some laughable, brackets, Sam'sTrains,
I'm laughable.
some are on an ego trip.
Do you think they meant I'm egotistical?
Well, yeah, no, actually, they've said, are some people on an ego trip or what?
Oh, so they're asking?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I think they're calling you laughable and saying
Oh,
you're an ego
okay.
trip.
I guess I try to make amusing, entertaining content. So if you want to laugh at it, that's good. That's a success. I don't know if it's really an ego thing though. And I feel like I'm quite clear on, what I am and what I'm doing. I've never believed that I'm a pop star. I'm very clear on the fact that I am a person in his loft looking at toy trains and making videos about them. I mean, it's difficult to be egotistical about that, isn't it? I mean, I've got a fairly good number of subscribers and my channel is viewed fairly well compared with other channels in the same industry. I do it for a living, so I do earn some money from the videos.
And actually, that is a good point, because I've seen a lot of comments where people say, oh, he does it for the money, he takes money, he does this and he does that.
Oh, you mean manufacturers and retailers and that?
I've seen a lot, like you take money from this person or this person. And
to say good things.
I mean, I'd probably come across as completely biased, but it's just not true.
No, it's not. I mean, to be fair, with the affiliate link stuff.
Yes, but I think people are insinuating bribes.
Yeah, exactly. The point is, you can give me all the money you want and I'll take it. But when I've got a model in my hand and it's time to do a review, if there's something wrong with it, I'm going to show it.
Yeah.
And there are countless examples of that on the channel. So anyone who says that isn't so obviously hasn't looked at the videos, because it's just blatantly not the case.
And like you say, it's a job.
You're
going to make money from a job.
Yeah. It took a long time to get to the stage of actually being able to earn a living from it. Yeah.
We would all do the same, and anybody that leaves these comments full well knows that if they were in your position to make money and do what you love for a living, they would do the same thing. So it's very hypocritical, I think.
Well, people sort of act like, aha, we caught him. He's doing this to make money. Well, I mean, I'm sorry to break it to you, but it's not a major discovery. It is a business and it is what supports my day-to-day life. But on the flip side, it takes an awful lot of work. I'm up here 5 days a week, and when I'm not up here, I'm downstairs editing or designing models or doing something like that. I'm not just sitting around raking in the cash. It takes an awful lot of hard work, and actually, you're aware of this.
That was something I was very surprised at, because I must say, when I first met you, I was a bit like, oh, okay, so maybe he does ponder around. But it is like 6 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock at night, on the weekends.
It's
any
insane.
chance that you get, you will be working.
Yeah.
So it's not like a normal 9-to-5 job. Like I work Monday to Friday, I go home, have a weekend. You don't have that. It's constant all the time.
But that's not to say I don't enjoy it, because I don't make a massive amount of money. I'm not a rich person, and I could actually use the skills that I have probably to make more money in a different job. But the thing is, for me, it's worth putting in the effort and it's worth putting in the time, because I absolutely love it. I mean, I really can't see myself doing anything else, because I thoroughly enjoy it. So yes, it's hard work, and yes, there are days where it's more difficult than others, but ultimately it is what I love to do, and that is why I do it. And obviously I couldn't do it if I didn't earn a living from it, and that's why I say I'm lucky, because I am. And I would say, if you've looked at my videos and you do find them dire or laughable, there is absolutely no obligation for you to continue watching, because this is something that I've noticed. These people really have a problem with whatever aspect of my videos they have a problem with, and yet they stick around. So, like, I'll be all right without you. Like, if you don't want to stick around, don't feel you have to. Plenty of other channels that you'll probably like more. But yeah, I'm sorry if I'm dire. I'm not really sorry.
So, there is a fine line. Wait. People don't word things correctly, and it's really hard to read.
If you're going to criticise, do it eloquently so we can understand.
I'm going to read it exactly how they've written it.
Okay.
There is a fine line is between influential, informative, and inspirational. In my opinion, Sam is none of them. More in your face.
Okay. Well,
I shouldn't laugh.
No. So you think, but I mean, it's like...
Can I throw out a first argument?
Yeah, okay.
You can't be in somebody's face if they're
Yeah.
choosing to watch your content.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. It's like choosing to go to a zoo and then complaining about all of the animals. If you don't like the animals, don't go to the zoo.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to suggest that I'm a zoo, but some of the videos do sort of get on that side, don't they? What were the 3 words that they used?
Influential, informative, and inspirational.
All I can say is, looking at the comments from the general public, most people seem to feel that my videos hit the spot for them, shall we say? And that's probably why they keep coming back, and the video views are as they are. So I apologise that I don't make content that is great for everybody, but I try to make it fit for most people, and from the feedback that I've got, it seems that that is the case.
Well, that's the great thing about YouTube though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can subscribe to who you like and not subscribe to who you don't want to.
Yeah, but I do take issue with the in-your-face bit, because I have never physically put myself into anybody's face. So if you see a if you're on YouTube, we'll include a clip on the screen of YouTube. So you're scrolling through YouTube, you're seeing all the videos, you think, oh, there's a video I think I'd like to click on. What you need to do is look underneath the video title. It will say who has made the video, and if it says Sam's Trains, don't click on it, right? Because if you do... Hello there everybody, Sam's Trains here, welcome back to the railway. Watch me, watch me, watch me, watch me. Sam's Trains here, look at me, watch me. Is that what it's like? Is it? And we don't want that. So if you don't want me in your face, then don't watch the videos. That's kind of the advice for all of these. Should we just not bother with the rest? But yeah, it's quite simple, really. Sorry, I'm getting a bit arsey now, aren't I? I promise I'm not really that bothered, honestly.
This makes me laugh.
You find all this very amusing, don't you? I must say. I'm being grilled here, and you can do is laugh.
More amusing than I should. It makes me laugh because this person, and I've seen it in quite a lot of comments, not all the ones that I've saved, but they act like they know you. Like they're inside your brain.
Okay, I see. Go on then.
I think you might find that Sam knows exactly what he is doing. His slippers, the carpet, it's all an act for his channel. He wants people to see him as an average modeller reviewing trains, someone harmless and perhaps a little nerdy, so he plays into this with his presentation. Then he repairs stuff, builds locos from scratch using 3D printers, etc. He's a clever chap.
But can't clever people wear slippers? All right. So, in your experience of me...
I know where this is going.
Yeah. Would you agree or disagree with the statement that I just pop my slippers on when it's time to film the videos and take them off again when I've done? What would you say to that?
All I'm going to say is that is a running joke between us that he never takes his slippers off.
Yes.
Ever. He lives in them. He breathes in them.
I am an old man, basically. I do live and die in slippers.
He never takes them off. It's the first thing he puts on when he walks into the house. It's the last thing he takes off before he leaves.
So to an extent I understand, because I do think about what I'm going to say before I set the camera up. I consider that I have a very mixed audience. Loads of different age groups watch the videos. I try to make sure that my vocabulary and my delivery is going to be appropriate for all ages, for example. But at the same time, I am very much unapologetically me. I don't have it within me, I don't think, to sort of act a certain way. You couldn't do that, I don't think. But ultimately, there are different types of video on this channel. There are videos that are quite technical. They're about model design. They're about creating models, that sort of thing. Those videos need to be technical for that reason. But there are other videos where I'm taking a model out of its box. There's no reason for me to get too complex and technical. Sometimes I might decide to simplify my delivery for certain videos because perhaps there's a newcomer in the hobby, perhaps they don't know all of the technical terminology, perhaps they don't necessarily care about all the particular little details. So I do try to think about who each video is for, but I wouldn't go as far as to say that I am trying to manipulate my audience into thinking that I'm what I'm not.
My favourite point of this whole thing, which is the bit that made me laugh, is the, and perhaps a little nerdy, as if to say that you put on this persona of being nerdy to get people to like you, when in reality, he's just a giant nerd.
I don't think anybody, even him, for a moment, truly believes that I am not nerdy. I mean, that would be a monumental feat, wouldn't it, to fake that?
There's not really much else to say about it.
No.
He is just a humongous nerd.
All right, move on.
Right, so this is quite a beefy one.
Oh, God.
As you can see.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, blimey.
So, the points made about Sam's Trains have been pretty repetitive.
True.
And I think this is talking about the hush hush.
Right, okay.
He runs his trains on a carpet.
Yeah, that's true.
His model runs badly because it gathered dust on the carpet.
No, not true.
He doesn't know anything about the prototype.
That's largely true.
His model was a faulty one.
Oh, the original Hush Hush. Yes, true.
He damaged his model by disassembling and assembling it again.
Not true.
He claims he tested this model before disassembly, but I think he lied because the video order hasn't changed. I don't personally know Sam'sTrains. He's certainly not a professional railway modeller. He's a YouTuber, a toy/model collector, call him whatever you like. I think we've been seeing a bit much of Sam'sTrains bashing on different threads, and points have been made repetitive and unrelated to the model itself.
So let's address the points from the top. So what was the first thing?
He runs trains on a carpet. This is the third time we've got a carpet comment.
Yeah. Can you see what we mean about repetitive? All right, so do you want me to talk about carpets now?
I would.
Right. My passion is locomotives and rolling stock and the actual models that run on the layouts. My passion would not be layout building. Now, I think if I put my mind to it, I could probably rustle up a fairly decent layout if I really wanted to. But it's not my passion, so ideally I don't want to do that more than once. Now, this space I've got at the moment is fantastic and I love it, but I'm fast outgrowing it. And from very early on, it was clear to me that I would not be here in this space for the rest of my life. So if I was to build the layout of my dreams, which would be a big layout, it would be the layout the size of this room, something like that, I don't want to have to disassemble it, dismantle it, scrap it, and have to start again in a few years' time. When I build a layout, I want it to be the layout. I want it to be the final layout. I'm going to spend a lot of time on it. I'm going to spend a lot of money on it. I don't want to have to do that twice. I'm not saying I won't enjoy building a layout, but I doubt I would enjoy it as much as I enjoy looking at the locos and designing models and that sort of thing. So yes, I'm on the carpet at the moment, and that is not ideal, but I take a lot of care of my carpet layout and my locos. I vacuum it frequently. There is no loose dirt, lint, hair, anything like that on my layout. Similarly, the locomotives undergo a rigorous maintenance schedule. I'm forever disassembling models, cleaning them, oiling them, making sure that there is no dust and lint on these models. And actually there isn't. When I disassemble a loco wheel set, it's very rare that I will find an eyelash or a hair or something wrapped around the axle, but when I do, I remove it. The models are certainly not getting caked up with dirt and dust within the hour or two that they spend in a review, because that is just not the case. And look, there are 500 locos up here. I've been doing this for almost 10 years now. If the carpet is damaging my models, then where are the damaged locos? They all work perfectly. I take good care of them. People keep making these points, but they are not true. And, you know, dust and dirt doesn't just occur on carpet, it occurs on layouts as well, if you're on baseboards. And people often say, well, what if other people copy what Sam'sTrains does? What if other people build layouts on the carpet and ruin their trains? But again, to me, that seems a little bit invalid, because if they actually copy what I do, they will hear about how important maintenance is. They will see my videos on how to disassemble and maintain locos, and they will be taking good care of their models like I do. So, you know, if people copy what Sam'sTrains does, then they'll have a massive collection of perfectly running locos in great condition. So again, it sounds great when people make these points, but when you actually look at them a little more closely, which I do because it's me we're talking about, they don't actually stand up to scrutiny and they don't actually make a lot of sense. That's the carpet story, folks.
Yeah, I think it's not a particularly harsh comment, but it is probably the most repetitive comment of criticism that you ever get.
Yeah.
And you've explained yourself many times.
Yeah. And now
verbally, written,
yeah.
And nobody seems to be getting it. So
No.
now you can just link people to this video
Yeah.
and timestamp them.
Absolutely.
You damaged the model by disassembling it and assembling it again.
Okay.
You claimed you tested the model before disassembly, but they think you lied because
Okay.
the video order hasn't changed.
Right, yes, I know what they're talking about. Right, so back in the day, I used to review locos in the order you see it. So I would disassemble the model, look at the mechanism, then reassemble it and do the performance test. And quite rightly, people said, when you do that and then a model doesn't run well, how do we know that it isn't because you've damaged the loco? So I decided to change the order that I filmed the videos in so that the performance test is filmed first before the disassembly, so that if there are any issues with the way a model runs, I can identify them before I even touch the mechanism, and that just means that people can't blame me anymore. So yes, in older videos, I did used to disassemble the locos first, and for at least a year now, I would say, I have been doing it the other way around. Now, I've kept the video order the same. You still see the mechanism before I do the performance, because I think it's important to have the mechanism in your mind when you actually see the way a loco runs. So let's say if we've already identified that the loco doesn't have enough pickups on it during the mechanism section, you might see that manifest in the performance section by the fact that the loco keeps cutting out and that sort of thing. But I assure you that I, honest to God, test and film the locos running before I look at the mechanism. Now, you don't have to believe me, I don't care if you don't believe me, but that's what I do, and there is evidence of that in certain videos. I think it was the Caledonian 812, the brake rigging broke when I was doing the mechanism section, and you can see that the brake rigging is there during the performance test, and it's not there after the loco's running.
So are they basically saying that because you, in your videos, have the performance second,
yes,
and the mechanism section first,
yes,
then that's how you do it in real life, when actually they're just not familiar with the concept of editing?
Yeah, there exists a process called editing, and because I'm not great at delivering properly, as you can see, this is what it's like when I don't edit it. What's the word? Eloquently. My videos are heavily edited, and I only use one camera as well, so when you see all the different camera angles and such, that is me retaking and redoing things from different angles so that it all cuts together. And like I say, I think it makes sense for a viewer to see the mechanism before we see the performance. That's why that appears first in the video, but that is not evidence that that is the filming order. That is not the case. And like I say, if you look, you will see the evidence. I film the performance first. Believe it or not, that is the fact. And that happens for every single review I film. I mean, you've seen Salvage or Scrap, you've seen my maintenance videos. I don't like to blow my own trumpet, but I've been doing this for around 10 years. I do know what I'm doing, particularly in swapping motors and changing wheel sets and doing all of that stuff, rewiring locos. Bear in mind, I'm not doing anything like that when I film a review. All I'm doing is taking off covers, removing bodies, filming them, putting them back together as I found them. It's not complicated. It might be for some people. I assure you, I can disassemble a loco in a small way without damaging it. I do it every day. Was there any more for that from that person?
That is the end. I think you've thoroughly covered everything.
Yes, I think so too.
Right, so this comment is a conversation between a few people. So I'm going to read you the initial comment and then the reply.
Okay.
So, I know you probably both know this and despise the fellow, but Sam, of Sam'sTrains YouTube fame, built a Gladstone using 3D printing for as much as possible, everything except wheels and motor, and you do yourself a worse favour than watching those videos. Fair enough comment.
Okay, that's
The response.
nice.
I tried to watch a minute of it and can't stand the guy. Immature and annoying, sorry.
Okay.
Straight to the point.
Yeah, well, that's absolutely fine. I don't expect to be liked by everybody, and yeah, I mean, it's not a very nice thing to say. I don't think I would have said that online about somebody, but it is fair enough. And if you feel that way, I thank you for your honesty.
You know, finding someone annoying is their own opinion, if they find your content annoying, but
yeah.
I would argue immature.
I suppose the Gladstone videos were quite technical, really. They did come from quite a lot of research and a lot of hard work and design work and that. There are a lot of videos of mine that you could say were immature, but I'm surprised that they would pick that one out. It was quite technical, quite an advanced project. I'm not a professional builder by any stretch, but yeah, I would have said there are far more videos if you were going to single them out as immature than that.
Yeah, I think going for something like an April Fool's video or something where you're just messing around.
Now that is immature, and if you can't stand the April Fool's videos, then I get it.
Again, a lot of these are coming from the same forum, which I'm not going to name, but you can use your imagination.
We all know the one.
You are spot on about Sam'sTrains. He just annoys me calling track on carpet a layout. There's some very good channels that show the hobby to a very high standard.
Yeah, well that's true. Yeah, the carpet thing we've addressed. I'm not trying to present my layout as a proper layout. It's on the carpet, it's more of a train set, it's got a bit of scenery to make it look a bit more interesting, but it's not a layout. And if you've ever felt that I've tried to convince you otherwise, please rest assured I'm under no illusions. Is that all we need to say about it?
Well, I think their point is that you call it a layout, but arguably
it's just
it is your layout then
Yeah.
what else would you call it?
It's just easier than saying on my train set. And I've called it a layout for so long that I think my brain wouldn't do that.
And one day, he will have a proper layout.
Yeah.
Proper layout.
And then that will be worthy of the name layout.
And what are people going to say then?
Ultimately, I think people are smart enough to realise that when I use the word layout, I'm not bigging up what I've got here. I think most people can see it for what it is without me needing to point it out every time. But just in case that's not the case, we've said it. Go ahead.
So, Sam'sTrains presentation can be annoying, but I guess it goes down well with kids, which I guess are his main audience. It can be useful to see how logos perform, how they are put together, etc. But question the running on tracks laid directly on carpet. Not a good example to set for aspiring young modelers, but I guess Sam's channel is aimed more at kids who just like to play with trains rather than serious modelers.
No, I don't think I would agree with that. No, there are aspects of any model railway channel I think that would appeal to children, but when I'm producing content, I don't have kids in mind. I'm very much a general audience sort of chap. And that's why I go into detail in the mechanisms and such. That's why I'm as thorough as I am. That's why I do the 3D print design videos. And that's why I make some interesting jokes from time to time, because obviously it is predominantly adults watching. And again, I don't understand why people make claims about who my audience are when they don't necessarily have the statistics to back that up. But I do. I do get to see the demographics, and actually the spread between the different age ranges is enormous. And even if the statistics are not enough for you, the people that I talk to, the emails I get, the comments I get, it's clear that they are from a massive range of different people, and my content reflects that. Like I said earlier on, some of the content I think is a bit simpler. It might appeal more to younger people, but then some of the content does not. I mean, what kid wants to see me fit a coreless motor into a Hornby 9F to see whether it performs better on a non-feedback controller? I mean, I would be insane to try and market that sort of content for kids. So yeah, it's very general. It's a very general audience.
Okay, we're nearly at the end now. Not to sound conspiratorial.
That's a big word.
Is that the right word then?
I don't know.
Okay.
They use Ponzi terminology that I don't always understand.
No, I'm starting again. Is that the right word?
Yeah, conspiratorial. A lot of my haters are quite poncy. I don't often understand what they mean.
They say a lot without saying much.
Yeah. I like the big words, though. He looks pretty smart.
But I do think controversy is a main ingredient in his videos. Case in point, when you go to review a £20 Coca-Cola wagon, for no reason other than to slate it, it's not indicative of the mindset of a hobbyist or a child who might like a fun toy. Not to say Hornby is a saint, but are metal versus plastic wheels really something you want to forward to trading standards? Think you said it best. Pinch of salt with these types of reviews.
I mean, different products I approach in different ways. With the Hornby Coca-Cola wagon, yeah, I thought that will make a funny video. I'll be able to poke fun at it and see what it's like. Did I go to trading standards about the wheels when they were shown as metal? Of course not. I just pointed it out as something that I felt was quite unreasonable and a little bit misleading. But then again, a positive review, I have found, does just as well as a negative review. It's just better to be honest about a model, good or bad, and I find that the viewers come regardless. If a model is awful and terrible, that's not a reason for me not to buy it. If I think something looks terrible, I'm still going to buy it because, sure, I think, yeah, this will make a funny video. But if it turns out to be good in the end, I will say so. If it's as bad as I thought, or worse, as the case with that Coca-Cola wagon, yeah, I won't have any qualms about saying so. But fortunately, most of the models I look at are actually great. It's once or twice a year I will absolutely slate a model. That's not very often. I certainly wouldn't be able to build my business around negative reviews, and I wouldn't want to either, because it wouldn't be fair to the manufacturers that create great models, which most of them do most of the time.
Right, are you ready for the last one?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Have you saved the best till last?
Well, I just think it's very eloquently put.
All right, let's have some eloquence.
Sam'sTrains is a...
Well, thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed listening to the hate. I'm sorry that it's gone on for quite a long while, but hopefully you got some entertainment from it, and hopefully one or two things have been cleared up. Right, let's get those slippers in the bin. Done with them for the day. real slippers are just drawings.
Again, I wish.
Yeah, I wish they stink. Need to get some
No,
new ones.
Well, Alfred even something next yesterday. He wouldn't take them. Start having a bicker in the middle of the video.
All right, move on.